Hey, this is Dave with the Shepherd School, and what we've got here is a Mosin gunked rifle, a 9130, and we're going to remove the Cosmoline from it. Okay, now Cosmoline is a hydrocarbon, kind of like a tarry Vaseline, that was put on. Basically, a bunch of these rifles were just dipped into hot liquid Cosmoline in order to preserve them. Okay, so even though Cosmoline is kind of a pain to deal with, it's our friend, because without it, you know, the 70 years or so these guns have been in storage would have rusted them up and turned them into rotted wood and a bucket of rust. Okay, so it is a good thing. Now, I've got a metal stock pot here that I'm going to put all the small pieces in to help clean it up. And since it's kind of like Vaseline, when you heat it up in hot water, a lot of it's going to just come off, and what doesn't, we're going to use some gentle solvents, mineral oil, brake cleaner, those sorts of things, kerosene to get the rest off. But we don't want to do that with the wood, and we'll show you an easier way or a better way of doing the wood furniture. So the first thing we're going to do is totally disassemble the gun, and we're not going to do that on camera because I'm going to come back and do a later Mosin disassembly video once everything is cleaned up and easy to manipulate. Okay. Alright, so all I did is I took a couple drops of dishwashing soap, put it in my stock pot, and turned my water heater all the way up, so about 180 degrees worth of hot water. Filled up the pot, and then I put all the small metal pieces in there. I'm going to work a little bit on the barrel, but I'm probably going to have to pour water through the barrel. And while this is happening, I have my wood stock sitting out in the sunlight. I need to get it heated up to about 130 degrees to melt the Cosmoline off. So I'm going to heat it up, wipe off the wood, heat it up, wipe off the wood. This part's best done when Mama's not around, so she can't tell you not to, and so you can clean it up before you get caught. I'm just going to pour some of that hot water down the bore. All I'm doing is getting the gross portions of the Cosmoline out. So the fine cleaning is going to come later, where I clean it just like you would after you shot it, you know, with bore cleaner and a brush. Now these aren't chrome lined barrels by any means, and so when I go to clean it, it's probably never going to come out perfectly clean, because some of it's going to turn black just from the oil on the metal. So the nice thing about using the boiling water is that when I take it out, it's going to, a lot of it's going to clean up on it. It's going to dry on its own. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back downstairs and put it on the workbench and actually clean it with some brake cleaner. But you see that it's melted some of the Cosmoline out, and you know, it's not as oily to the touch. Okay. But if you do it with this boiling water method, you want to make sure that you oil it right afterwards, okay? Because you boiled most of the oil out of the metal. Taking it out of the hot water, and I've got all the little screws and pieces and parts in a little mason jar with some brake cleaner, okay? And most of the Cosmoline is off, but I want to make sure I get it all off. So I'm going to hit everything with brake cleaner and scrub it down real good, and then I'm going to oil it again. Okay? And I want to pay particularly close attention to inside the bolt and inside the receiver where the bolt's going to ride, because if I have any Cosmoline in here, when it dries or when I fire it and it heats up, it'll turn to varnish and make for the sticky bolt problems that are pretty common in Mosins. Alright, so I'm just going to do regular cleaning, you know, spray some brake cleaner on there, get my brush, hit it real good, and we'll come back. Alright, so I cleaned up everything with the brake cleaner, and then I went over it with some Hoppy's number 9, and it was really simple. Did take a little bit of attention to detail in and around the action. Now what I have to do is what I'm really not looking forward to and from what I gather is pretty much the hardest part of the thing, and that is get the cosmoline out of the wood without damaging the wood. Now, you don't want to get it too hot, but about 130, 150 degrees is enough to start melting the cosmoline out. And if you're going to use any kind of solvents, you don't want to use anything water-based because it's bad for the wood fiber, and you don't want to use anything too harsh because that's bad too. I've seen some things where people talk about putting it in, the boiling water, and I didn't want to do that. I've seen where people have put them in their dishwashers or their stoves, and I'm willing to do a lot of stuff on my stove, but I really don't want to put my, oil-soaked wood gun inside my oven. And so the best thing that I've seen to do this with is Murphy's oil soap, and the Walmart didn't have any, so I had to get a different brand of oil soap. And I'm just going to kind of rub it in a little bit. I'm going to take just a little bit of this Edge Red and put back on my action a little bit before I put it back in the gun, because I pulled all the oil out of it. And the bayonet fits. Okay. Alright, there it is. Put the bolt back in it. We function checked it. Everything's working real good. And got all the cosmoline off the metal and most of it out of the wood. At least for the first attempt at getting it out of the wood. Now what we got to do is take it out and shoot it a little bit and see how we like it. But I'm pretty pleased with it so far. Pretty nice shape. There's a couple divots in the wood that we may come back and show you how to steam some of that out. But mostly I think it's really good condition for the $100 that I got into it, including shipping and tax. So until next time, there you go, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.